So it's been a while since we did a weekend video, and I thought what better chance to do a video on a weekend than with a stupid, idiotic mistake. Last week I got a bit fearful and I stalled out of some tech stocks such as Amazon and Apple. Why the hell did I do that? Well, I'll tell you in just a second, but please bear in mind this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy with a beard on YouTube trying to help save the dinosaurs from becoming extinct. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing and turning on the bell, and if you could make sure that like button is turned blue, it would massively help me out and, well, help save me from extinction. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link down in the description where you can get some exclusive perks. I think there's 1 or 2 spaces left in the WhatsApp group, so go and check that out. And if you haven't signed up already, check out eToro on the pinned comment. Sign up, deposit, make a trade, and you get free lifetime access to the LWT investing chat room. Now, to be clear, I actually did close these trades green. Joe Biden's tax plan came out. It's something I was sort of really talking about. I did a video on Joe Biden before he actually got elected on his tax plan and why it could sort of crash the stock market. So you can go and check that out. It's somewhere on the channel. I might even link it somewhere up there. But the tax plan, I do think, could cause a decent correction, if not a full-out stock market crash. And if you want to know more on that, on the tax plan, my thoughts, let me know down in the comments and I can do a full video on it. There's a lot to talk about there. But I actually closed Amazon up over 10% and Apple was up, I think, about 18%. But why did I sell? Because they're clearly gonna continue going up. These are 2 of the best companies in the world. And of course, 2 companies that I am very, very fond of. Well, firstly, the main reason why I sold is locking in gains. When this news came out, it sort of shook the stock market and it shook me a little bit. If you're in the chat room or if you're in the WhatsApp group, you'll have seen me post it with my thoughts and thesis, but I do think that this will sort of shake the stock market if it plays out into fruition. I think it's a lot more than what people were expecting. I do not think the whole bill will pass, to be honest, but it's enough to scare companies that have already had a tough time over the last couple of years. I mean, think about it this way. You're a company who's had a tough 18 months, and now someone wants to come and take a big bulk of your profits. Well, I think that's quite tough, and I think it's going to be quite hard on companies as a whole if it passes. And then you throw in the double tax on people who will be executives at these companies who are earning over $1 million a year. Well, these people will probably look to relocate because that's a hefty tax burden, but it might also mean that people will look at pulling out of the stock market because there's a lot of uncertainty there. If directors for companies look at moving to a different jurisdiction, companies losing profit margin, and then you throw in the volatility of people or investors who have over $1 million income a year, just thinking, if I cash out now, then I pay less capital gains tax. So they might sort of start looking at cashing out before this tax bill comes in. Now that might take a while to come into fruition, but it sort of led me to rethink my portfolio and look at the sectors that I sort of think are a little bit more higher risk or companies that I don't have a good average in. Now, I'm not saying Apple and Amazon are high risk because clearly that's not the case. I just think that tech as a whole is way overvalued and they're due a pullback. So I will look at buying Amazon and Apple again in any crash or correction market. But for now, I got to liquidate a decent amount of my position and I'm sat there in cash with the hopes of buying in at a decent 10-15% below my entry point. Now, I know there's a lot of people probably thinking they're saying tech bubble schmubble. That's probably not even a saying or a word, but you know what I'm getting at. Deutsche Bank recently did a survey with their representatives and respondents, and it actually came up a score out of 10, 10 being that a bubble is pretty much confirmed. It came out with a 7.9 out of 10 score. And if you don't know what that means, basically, majority of people think that the tech sector is in a huge bubble. And that's sort of confirmed if we look at these stocks as a whole. I'm talking about the pre-pandemic lows here. Apple's up over 150% since the lows of last year. And Amazon, well, they're up over 100% as well. So, of course, yes, it was a big sell-off. They all fell apart. And then they recovered quite quickly. But I think this is too far too fast, and I think there's a lot of new investors in the market right now who are buying into companies that they know and love. Companies like Apple, like Amazon, Tesla, well, God forbid Nikola, but you see what I'm saying. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I sold these 2, and it's because I do sort of agree that the bubble is there, and there's a good chance I can get these stocks at a much lower price. Now, they may go up in the meantime, they may actually go up even double, they may not even ever crash, which I'm completely cool with. So before you start spouting off in the comments, don't worry about it, I'll be fine. But overall, I think there's a lot of new investors in the market who are heading on a pain train without even knowing it. And I think we're way overdue a correction or a crash. And I think that these companies could get hit some of the hardest. But if I have free cash sat on hand, that means I can buy in. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sat over 50% in cash right now. And when I mean cash, of course, I'm in different assets, but something very, very safe and very, very slow. But in terms of stocks, they're definitely on my watch list. Apple, Amazon are always going to be on my watch list. I just think that right now is not a good time to be adding into them. I've got a decent gain on there. I've been in them less than a year. Why not cash out and sort of wait for the next big dip? Now, I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you still buying in Amazon and Apple? Let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to have a discussion with someone who is in a completely different mindset. It's always good to get alternating opinions, and I'd love to have some discussion with people down there in the comments. Please make sure you have liked this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And of course, if you want more weekend videos, just make sure that like button is turned blue. If we get over 100 likes, then maybe I'll bring these weekend videos back. Make sure you wash your hands and be very, very safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.